Hi, I'm James Ernest with the Grueling Truth Radio Network. Today's guest on MMA Ground and Pound is Brandon Girtz. Brandon, tell us about your big fight coming up, 174.
Hey man, 174 man, it's coming up here in a little less than 2 weeks. I'll be taking on Fernando at 170. Pretty much my first time at 170.
So that'll be going up a weight class for you. Any concerns about that?
No real concerns, man. It's something that I've, thought about doing before and, kind of wanted to challenge myself and, especially all these two divisions going up, fighting in two different divisions. It's been kind of a thing I wanted to do, so no real concerns. Obviously Fernando's going to be the bigger guy out there. There's no question about that, but there's also no question about I'll be the faster guy out there.
Excellent. Is there like a particular fighter, or is it just the title you're wanting to go up for, or just, once or twice for the challenge?
This is, I'm not really looking past this fight at welterweight. This is sort of a deal I just kind of took because I wanted to fight right now, and I wanted to get back in there and start to get the year rolling. Especially after a loss, the longer you sit, the worse it is. I feel like I didn't want to sit, and this is a fight that they offered up, and I've never turned down a fight before, so I wasn't going to start now. And like I said, going up, I'm not kind of being like I'm a 170er now. No, 155 is my weight class. After this fight, I plan on going back down to 155 and then taking out somebody at the top.
Excellent. So, how did you get started with MMA?
After college wrestling, I just, I had a few friends, doing it in Minnesota, and they kind of wanted me to give it a try, and it's kind of a natural transition. I mean, after college wrestling, there's really not a lot of opportunities, other than Olympics, which is 100 times harder than fighting if you ask me, but it was natural, man. I've been, kind of fighting, I don't want to say my whole life, but I have. It's just kind of been something I feel like a lot of, the good fighters, it's something that's in them. It's not something you just kind of build out of training. It's something that you have inside you.
So tell us about the gym you're out of.
I train out of Team Genesis, which is formerly known as Grudge, out here in Denver, Colorado. It's ran by Jacob Ramos and Trevor Whitman. A couple of the best striking coaches in the world, I feel like. Something that, when I moved to Colorado, it was one of the big aspects that I came out here for. Wrestling is by far my base, but striking is something that I needed to, improve on. So that was, like I said, one of the big reasons I moved out here to Colorado 3 years ago.
I was going to say, I've noticed your specialty is usually submission, so that does make sense that you would want to mix things up and be more versatile. Do you take a lot of pride in the submission-based?
What's that?
Do you take a lot of pride in your submission game? Is that something that you tend to focus on, or is it just, what becomes available during the fights?
It's definitely, I feel like I have one of the best MMA ground games there is. That being my takedowns or my takedown defense or my submission game. I mean, I'm not a slick jiu-jitsu artist down there, but I don't get tapped, and I pretty much, control the pace on the ground. So it's definitely something I take pride in.
Let's see. So tell us about some of your teammates that you've been sparring and training with, how they have helped you.
My biggest training partner is Justin Gage. I mean, pretty much me and him, I have plenty of other training partners, but me and him it's pretty much back and forth. We're two very competitive fighters. We're both at, most of the time at lightweight. And, we just go back and forth. We've had, plenty of wars in the gym, and, every, kind of workouts we do, we're just kind of always pushing each other.
Clearly, you're a passionate fighter. Always, like you said, you're always ready for the fight. Heck, when they had 102, you were back in 2 weeks for 104. What was that like?
No, that was awesome. Actually, that was I was there was no reason to take a break. I had that fight. They called me a few days later. Somebody fell out and they asked me if I wanted it. And I was like, hell yeah. Back then, that was after that that was the two biggest paychecks I've ever made in my life. So it was a very cool experience. And like I said, if you're a fighter, you should be ready to go at all times.
So a little compare and contrast, King Cage versus your current Bellator. Good, bad, indifferent. How would you compare the two?
Oh man, they're massively different. Going from the local scene to the bigger scene, the bigger MMA promotions is a massive difference. Not just with the amount of people at the fights and stuff like that, but just how the whole thing's run. The first time I came to Bellator, just kind of arriving there, and the whole feeling that this is a real sport. When it's young, when you're starting up, you're fighting at King of the Cage, and you're fighting in a ballroom at who knows where, small town or whatever. And a lot of people there are all your usually local and are your family and friends. Going to this, and you have, it's a massive production, and it makes you feel like, I remember the first Bellator fight that I remember thinking to myself that I've made it. It really gives you that feeling.
So, of all the fighters that you've fought, is there anybody in particular that you would want to rematch ever?
Absolutely. There's Anderson is one of the fights I would love to do again. That was he ended up being a knockout. I ended up being knocked out by a knee, which was I don't even feel like that's what he was trying to do. I feel like it was one of those 1 in a million lucky. He was throwing a kick, I was throwing an overhand, and all my force went right into his knee. And that's one I really wanted back, because he was in a thicker. Never really had anybody really say shit to me or talk to me in a negative way except for that guy. Mm-hmm. So that's a fight I would love to get back one day.
So tell us about your sponsors. Who do you advertise for?
A big sponsor that I love working with right now is Charlotte's Web, which is a CBD hemp extract that's changing lives out there for kids with kids and everything like that have autism and stuff. They're doing huge things with the realm of caring, helping these kids out. This is probably the first company that I've ever worked with that is actually going out there and doing worldly things, helping people out, and it's been a big change and eye-opener for me working with them. Obviously I have my Hayabusa. Hayabusa is another great company with amazing gear, and Garden of Life. Garden of Life has had my back for the last 3 years, and I take the products every day. It's all natural, great product, man, and it's helped me out throughout my last 3 years.
Nice. I was going to say, it's always good to have great companies like that have your back and are able to support you. Before you go, tell us, sell us on Bellator 174.
I missed that, sorry.
Oh, before we go, tell us a little bit more about Bellator 174. Why do I need to tune in to the show?
Absolutely tune in to 174. Me and Gonzalez, I know it's going to put up a brawl. The guy's a fighter. He's got heart, and he ain't going to stop. It's going to be a hell of a fight. I know I'm going to hit him with a lot of great things, and I expect him to hit me with some stuff. I feel like this could be a Fight of the Year candidate just because we both got heart, and he's going to take some shots. Like I said, he's going to be the bigger guy out there, but I'm going to be the faster guy, and I'm going to be throwing a lot of punches.
Excellent. I greatly appreciate your time, Brandon. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Welcome.